Alexa Lavoie for Rebel News, and last weekend, I drove from Montreal to Toronto to show you what the mainstream media refuses to cover. Along with Efrain Mosento, I attended the National Security Conference organized by TAFSIK and the Canada-India Foundation. Numerous speakers were present to share their views. During a panel titled Creating Awareness About National Security in the Digital Age, we heard from Jasmine Lane, Josh Udall, and Clyde Nichols. Clyde gained traction during the Freedom Convoy for his reporting on the topic, much like us here at Rebel News. In this interview, he shares his perspective on censorship and the impact of mass immigration in Canada. Let's hear what he has to say.
It was during the Freedom Convoy. I had cameras and equipment, and I just saw what was happening, and I said, I gotta say something. I don't care if nobody's watching this. I'm just gonna say it so in the future, when whatever happens, I'll at least have on my conscience that I spoke out about it. I didn't know it was gonna blow up and turn into what it did, but it did. So I would encourage many other people to just take that and run with that, because people might listen to you. If you think that, oh, I won't go anywhere with this, just do it anyway.
Well, I was really excited to be invited to come here to discuss these things. You know, there's been an ongoing thing in Canada, and it's largely due to the unfettered migration into the country. It's really a failure of our Canadian immigration system, and it's great to highlight this, especially when it's communities that are, you know, kind of being shown or in a bad light recently. Right now, of course, we're here with the Canada-Indian Foundation. In Canada, for the longest time, Indians have been seen as like the pinnacle of the absolute best person to bring into Canada. There's with the amount of engineers and doctors and all this that have come into Canada, and not only that, like with our old system of immigration being merit-based. As soon as this changed, of course, what happens is if you open up flood immigration in from whatever part of the world, you're gonna get unsavory characters, and this is what happened in this case. And I'm glad that some of the ethnic communities in Canada are standing up and saying, no, this is a big problem. And what's happening is it's turning into extremism. We're seeing this on the streets. You've seen it personally. You've been out there and experienced this. And other communities in Canada are actually raising awareness of that. When they invited me out to speak to this, I said, this is great. Thanks for having me.
So thank you. One last word. So on the question, how do we fix the media? Get the government out of media. That's number one. The government should not be in media. Much interest there. When it comes to the CRTC and their mandate of Canadian content, and when they tried with Bill C-11 to mandate that or to regulate that within our space, none of us are eligible for Canadian content status. That is the most ridiculous thing. Get them out of the media entirely.
Is it something that concerns you to see that maybe the censorship will just reappear with a new Bill C-63 and afterwards your voice will not be shared online?
So this is one of my concerns coming here was, you know, there are a lot of calls to do something about what's happening with violent extremism on the ground in Canada right now. And now there's a propensity for government agencies to want to usurp more authority over Canadians to go after and thwart free speech. So I wanted to be part of the dialogue to say, no, okay, we're going to do something about this, but let's do it while we're also protecting freedom of expression in the country. This is a big issue for me personally. I think liberty is the most important thing in our society, and we should really uphold that. So again, being invited to be part of the conversation was really I'm very excited to be here.
We talked about the sort of institutional side of things with platforms, YouTube, Facebook, that kind of thing. You can get shut down for saying certain things, but then there's the law brigading side of things, so the user-based side of things, where you'll have particular groups come in and just completely hound a creator or somebody, even just a private citizen who just wants to put out their opinion. And this is another attempt to thwart people's freedom of expression, to get out there and actually say what it is that they see as an issue in society, something that they have a grievance with. And there are big groups behind this that are willing to put tons of resources into trying to shut down what they're trying to say on.
When did you actually realize that something was wrong and you did decide to take your podcast and just like go up there and make your voice heard?
And do something?
Yeah, and do something.
So, yeah, I mean, it's been a slow creep for a long time. I've been an advocate for liberty for a very long time, and I've slowly watched Canadians take a back seat while the government comes in and infringes on our rights over and over and over and over again. And when COVID happened, we all know what happened in that story with the government, with their mandates and lockdowns and infringing on our freedom of movement and our freedom of speech in many regards. So when the Freedom Convoy popped off, it was uniquely something in my sort of neighborhood or my walk of life. I'm a mechanic by trade, and my brother's a truck driver, and these are my people. You know, I'm sitting here going, wow, the people that stand up against government overreach are my people. I need to say something. If I can't get there, I got to get on my computer and I got to say something. I honestly, at the time, I turned my camera on. I did recordings of what was happening, and then live clips from live streams of what was happening on the ground, showing the contrast between the reality and what the news was saying about the situation. And I just wanted to showcase it because I thought, well, in the future, if I don't, I'll just regret that forever. So I thought, if nobody watches it, whatever, at least I'll have my conscience clear. And then it took off. It became a thing, and it's now become a new phenomenon in the world that just regular, everyday people can just take up the mantle of telling people what's going on. If the government, the government with media and also the mainstream media aren't going to tell people, it's created this whole thirst for the truth, and people are looking elsewhere. This is why the media is dying.
And what is your major concern for the future for the content creator online?
Being shut down. Absolutely. That's a concern, especially in Canada. We're seeing some of these draconian laws, like what we're actually seeing in England right now. People are being jailed for just things that they say. Maybe it's offensive, but whatever. You say something offensive, you might have people not like you anymore, but it's not a crime. That's the reality of the situation. I stand up for free speech because I think it's an important thing in society to have free speech. If you don't have free speech, then you don't have self-governance. You can't do that. You can't express yourself. So, yeah, if right now the biggest thing is that it's really scary for content creators as the government is coming in and trying to put in new laws to make certain words criminal, or just certain words that have an effect on people to make them feel offended. Well, here's the thing: offense is one of those things. You don't give offense; you take it. It doesn't matter what I say. If you take offense to that, I mean, that's your thing. That's something you've done. So I could try to tiptoe around things, but at the end of the day, you're really just kind of, walking on eggshells around a thing. If we make it a criminal act, then what's to say the government says later, well, I'm offended by this or that? It's so arbitrary, and you can't run a functioning society like that.
We saw what happened under Justin Trudeau, and do you expect maybe better or worse under Mark Carney?
It won't be as flamboyant.
Flamboyant?
Yeah, it won't be as flamboyant. It's going to be largely the same. Mark Carney is of the same ilk as Justin Trudeau. He just doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi, right? Mm-hmm. That's it. It's largely the same regime. It's no different.
Do you think the rise of extremism would just increase with time?
Yes, it'll keep continuing to rise. And as our economy keeps going down that toilet bowl, we're going to see more and more groups from different aspects of society become more and more extreme. This is the road we're going down. So meetings like this is great because we're out here actually trying to thwart extremism by creating more dialogue. The answer to bad speech is more speech.
really important conference like that and no mainstream media showed up, but we are here to show you the other side of the story. So if you appreciate our work and you want to support us, please go over rebelfieldreports.com, chip in whatever you want, couple of bucks to help us to continue to show you the other side of the story, because I drove from Montreal to Toronto to show you. Thanks.